Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed, good morning. I must say I'm delighted to be here because I'm going to talk to you what is at my heart, and that's soil health. And what I'm going to talk to you about is insects, the next big thing for soil health. But before we go far, I know all of us have taken breakfast, and it's obvious that food is at the center of human survival. But have you ever bothered to ask yourself, where does the food I eat come from? To our innocent children, they think the food comes from a supermarket or a grocery store. But what about you? Well, I'm here to tell you that the soil on which we trample on gives us up to 99% of the food we eat. So soil is at the center of human survival and food security. But the sad story is that in Africa, most of our soils are no longer suitable for crop production because they are degraded. More than 65% of our soils are no longer suitable for crop production due to erosion, loss in nutrients, organic matter loss, and acidity. The unfortunate bit is that our farmers do not have coping mechanisms. Fertilizers are expensive, others are adulterated. The organic resources that would restore soil life are not of good quality. And so you find situations like this. I know for those of us who travel in rural areas, you must have seen this. And this culminates into 1 in every 5 persons in Africa sleeping hungry, simply because of soil degradation. But talking of soil degradation and soil, what is soil? I know since it has rained, soil is that material that has made your shoe dirty, to some of us. To an engineer, he's looking for a farm ground where to put a building. For a potter, they are looking for clay, which they can use to make a pot. But to a farmer, soil is that medium that allows him to grow food and nourish lives and sustain humanity. So soil in its formation consists of minerals, air, and water that the plant require, and organic matter. Organic matter is the smallest fraction, yet the most important, because it contains living organisms like bacteria, fungus, and the ones which we can see. Insects. Insects are part of the soil system. So insects, together with the microbes, give the soil that parameter of a living system. Let me tell you, soil is a living system. So once soil loses insects and microbes, it becomes dead. And a dead soil cannot give us food. In nature, these insects perform their roles, but due to the threats of soil degradation, these have reduced. And so you find most of our soils are not suitable. So, and this is what forms part of our talk today. I'm here to talk to you about insects as the next big thing for soil health. But before I talk about that, I will first tell you my story. I'm a son of a peasant farmer raised by a widow in the highlands of southwestern Uganda. She depended on the power of a hand hoe to pay for my education. And she used to tell me that her certificate was a hand hoe, and she sent me to school to get a better certificate and probably a better future. So in that way, I went to Makerere University, studied a Bachelor's of Agriculture in Land and Soil Resources Management. I got a good first class, but I couldn't get a job because I had passed so much. So then I proceeded to do a Master's of Science in Soil Science, and that's where I started research in organic resources for soil health management. And my research focused on the recycling of the water hyphene that is always present on water bodies into high-quality fertilizer. It was successful, but the time to produce the fertilizer was long. So then I got a scholarship opportunity at ISIPE, funded by DAD, German government, and I came to pursue a PhD in 2017. That is when I joined the ICIPE's Insects for Food, Feed and Other Uses program that aims to use insect-based technologies, edible insect-based technologies to address different challenges. That is when I also interfaced with my marvelous mentors, Dr. Tanga and Dr. Subi, that have since lit my candle for career advancement, and I thank them so much. So in that way, I went on to do research on how to recycle organic waste using insects. These insects had been here since 2012, but they were being looked at as insects for production of animal feed and human food. In fact, the waste they were producing was regarded as a nuisance. So they called me here, and I used my previous knowledge and experience to see how to harness the power of insects to recycle waste for soil health management. And one of the insects I focused on is the black soldier fly. I know all of us might have interfaced with this insect. It looks like a fly, but it's bigger and better. If you want to call it another name, you call it farmer's friend, because it turns challenges into opportunities. Let me give you an example. For example, for Nairobi, where we stay now, it generates 2,400 metric tons of municipal waste. 80% of those wastes are organic. That's suitable for insect farming. So that gives us around over 1,900 tons of organic waste per day. And with this insect, it has tremendous power to recycle all these wastes into quality organic fertilizers within 1 month. 1 month. And if you had to use the ordinary methods, you'd take 6 months. So this insect saves us 5 months of waiting for organic fertilizer. It also saves us greenhouse gas emissions, and most importantly, gives us high quality fertilizer. So we have conducted this research, validated this technology and piloted it, and we have also gone ahead to do on-farm validation of the crop yield and soil health benefits using different food security crops. And we started with maize and vegetables that are key for human nutrition. But we have also worked with legumes, root crops, and perennial crops, especially banana, that is key for as a staple and the cash crop for East Africa. And we have also been able to generate evidence on the potential of this fertilizer to restore soil health. And let me tell you, one of the challenges in East Africa is soil acidity. And we have found that this fertilizer is able to reduce acidity by far. And within 1 season of application, the acidity, the soil pH is raised to levels that are favorable for crop growth and the rejuvenation of soil microbiota and nutrients to be available. But most importantly, as we struggle with climate change, we found that the soils which we amend with this regenerative fertilizer can store water for a longer period, thus increasing the resilience of crops to the shocks of climate change. This is key in saving water, but we have also found that in addition to supplying nutrients, this regenerative fertilizer also can control all the soil-borne pests and diseases. You should know that this is key because we are using a lot of chemicals for crop production, and the food we are producing is no longer suitable for human consumption. Pesticide residues are becoming a serious human health challenge. But with this fertilizer, it is able to play a multi-purpose role, supply nutrients, but also control pests and diseases. And that is after a single application. All these benefits have culminated into tremendous increases in crop yields and nutritional quality. And what does the farmer put in the pocket? 44% higher profits. And then the nutritional quality, the increase in nutritional quality is key for eliminating hidden hunger and poverty. So we have worked with more than 20 food security crops, and we continue to do research across different agroecological zones to generate evidence for integrating this technology in existing farming practices. So this knowledge has encouraged us to develop diversified products that can be adopted by different farmers and private sector partners. And so far, we have developed more than 15 products, including the powdered fertilizer that is key for Annual crops, granulated fertilizer releases nutrients at a slower rate and is suitable for perennial crops. And then we have the liquid fertilizer that is good for urban farming, vegetables, and can be applied together with irrigation water. Then we have fortified all these products with the chitin from the exovia, or the skin of the insect, to be able to control pests and diseases, making this multi-purpose and regenerative. So through all this, we know that this knowledge should be transferred to the different end users and stakeholders. So we have a free of charge training and demonstration facility here, where we train farmers, entrepreneurs, NGOs, and extension officers, as well as private sector, on how to install these technologies for the benefit, for greater impact. And so far, we have trained more than 160 stakeholders, 60,000 stakeholders. But then we are also establishing satellite technology and business incubation centers within Africa, which enable the establishment of different small and medium entrepreneurs. And so far, we have over 3,000 SMEs have been established, with the potential to produce more than 122,000 metric tons of this fertilizer per year. And they have put different products on the market, including the solid and liquid fertilizers. The current around $15 per 50 kilogram bag, and this is way cheaper than the conventional organic fertilizers that cost around $25 per 50 kilogram bag. So these private sector partners have done a tremendous job, but we have also gone ahead to establish the potential benefits of scaling this technology across Africa. And with Africa's waste generation capacity of more than 125 million tons of organic waste, we have found that with this technology, we can produce 60 million tons of organic fertilizer, capable of fertilizing 24 million hectares of land, producing food for over 1 billion people, and generating more than 15 million jobs along the fertilizer production and commercialization value chain. There's also a good story with climate change, whereby we can sequester more than 86 million tons of carbon per year. And then sustainable scaling requires favorable policy and regulatory framework. We have established policies in 5 countries in East Africa, but currently we are working with the African Organization for Standardization of the African Union to establish continent-wide policies that would enable sustainable scaling of this technology for greater impact. There have also been RIWA awards and global recognition, and the first one was the 2020 World Food Planet Prize that we got in collaboration with the private sector. And then most recently, the 2024 Norman Borlaug Award for Field Research and Application. So what do I want you to go home with? I want you to know that without soil health, agriculture cannot flourish. And if agriculture cannot flourish, then humanity cannot. But the good news is that we are at the forefront of developing technologies that can restore soil health. And these technologies lie in the promise of insects, the small creatures with tremendous power to breathe fresh life into our soils. So join us as we harness this potential to restore soil health and improve food security. Thank you so much.